Number 10, DaBaby. The 30-year-old rapper will never be invited onto the Super Bowl stage, and there's a very good reason for that. DaBaby rose to mainstream prominence in 2019, but only 2 years later, in July of 2021, he lost most of his fan base by bringing his extremely homophobic views to his performance. He shouted many questionable things at the crowd, mainly trying to hype them up with disparaging comments about gay men. Of course, his behavior quickly drew massive criticism online, and his attempt to clarify his views didn't help at all. He ended up digging himself deeper by saying that he wanted to uplift his gay fans. Naturally, DaBaby got ripped into by the LGBTQ community and a chorus of celebrities like Madonna, Elton John, and Dua Lipa. He's still making music, but his career has yet to fully recover from the controversy, and it's unlikely he'll ever be accepted back onto such a massive stage like the Super Bowl. Number 9, Jennifer Lopez. The 2020 Super Bowl halftime show was a massive night, considering that the two music icons were sharing the stage. But it turns out that J-Lo wasn't a big fan of giving up the spotlight, and she made sure to criticize the NFL in the years following the performance. In her recently released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. She said, "If it was going to be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes. That's what they should have effing done." Basically, she was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the same amount of time that any solo performer would receive, as opposed to doubling it and giving the women extra time to shine. Not only that, but her performance brought about some controversy for its political messaging, which is something that the Super Bowl is strictly against. During the show, children in small cages appeared on the field with a large fence behind the stage. Some viewers felt that this was a reference to Donald Trump's immigration policy of separating families at the US-Mexico border. Number 8, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. In 2014, the band joined Bruno Mars on stage to play their 90s hit song Give It Away, but viewers quickly noticed that both the guitar and the bass were completely unplugged. Then Flea posted an open letter confirming the rumors that they largely faked their Super Bowl halftime show performance. In his letter, he revealed that only Anthony's vocals were performed live. He said, "It was made clear to us that the vocals would be live, but the bass, drums, and guitar would be pre-recorded. There was not any room for argument on this." Apparently, the NFL was unwilling to risk any unexpected sound problems during the segment. The Red Hot Chili Peppers ordinarily refuse to fake or mime playing instruments on stage, but when they realized that the Super Bowl halftime show represented a once-in-a-lifetime thing, they decided to make an exception and play by their rules. This letter not only exposed the NFL, but it also angered fans, who claimed that the band simply bowed to their desire for a perfect performance over a real one. Number 7, Marilyn Manson. The singer will not be invited onto the Super Bowl stage because of his recent controversies. In February of 2021, actress Evan Rachel Wood made an Instagram post that said, "I am here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives." Since then, more than a dozen women have come forward with allegations against Manson, 4 of them including Game of Thrones actress Esme Bianco. But although the singer has denied claims, Manson's record label Loma Vista severed ties with him in February of 2021. It was also announced that his role in the Starz TV show American Gods would be cut, and an episode of Creepshow that was set to star Manson was dropped from the AMC series. His manager said goodbye and CAA no longer reps him. Weeks later, HBO released Wood's documentary called Phoenix Rising, which details all the allegations. Number 6, Kanye West. The rapper has been banned from performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, considering the extent of his recent controversy. After making a slew of anti-Semitic statements on various platforms in December, Kanye has gone through a mass cancellation, and he's been dropped by just about every single brand that he's ever worked with. He was locked out of his Twitter and Instagram account, and doors started closing on him left and right. He was kicked out of his bank JP Morgan Chase, abandoned by Vogue, Balenciaga, and Gap. Eventually, he even lost his lucrative partnership with Adidas. The German sports brand called his remarks unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and said that they violated the company's values of diversity and inclusion. In fact, when Kanye attended the Super Bowl last year, he was booed by thousands of spectators. He was spotted at the SoFi Stadium in LA with his daughters North and Saint, and as soon as he appeared on the big screen from his seat, fans started booing him. And that was long before he reached the height of controversy for his anti-Semitic remarks. So really, there is no chance the NFL would ever endorse such a divisive figure at one of their halftime shows. Number 5, Travis Scott. Although the rapper previously performed with Maroon 5 at the halftime show in 2019, that's something that he got a lot of criticism for, because of how many people did not want him to take the job. It was a highly controversial year, as the NFL came under fire for their treatment of Colin Kaepernick, the former 49ers quarterback who was blackballed for kneeling in protest of police brutality. Travis ended up accepting the role, despite the fact that Jay-Z reportedly tried to warn him against it. And it wasn't even worth it in the end, as many fans felt the performance was a letdown. But the real reason why the NFL won't allow him to perform again is actually because of what happened at his Astroworld concert in 2021. Tragedy struck when 10 people lost their lives during a crowd surge, and Travis came under fire for continuing his performance while people were dying. He has since said that he was unaware of what was happening and apologized to the victims' families. That's just way too much controversy for the Super Bowl to ever welcome him back on stage. Number 4, Adele. When the singer turned down the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2016, she made sure to criticize the entire spectacle and make it clear that she has no intention of ever getting on that massive stage. During a concert in LA, Adele told the crowd that she declined the NFL's invitation. She said, "First of all, I'm not doing the Super Bowl. Well, come on, I mean, that show is not about music, and I can't dance or anything like that." So they were very kind. They did ask me, but I said no. This year, during her Las Vegas residency show, the singer revealed to the audience that she'll be attending the big game, but it's not because she's interested in the game. She said, "I'm just going for Rihanna. I don't give an F." So you really have to love her honesty there. But after everything she said about the NFL, there's no way that she's ever going to receive another invitation. Number 3, MIA. This one is a no-brainer. During the halftime performance with Madonna in 2012, the rapper stuck her middle finger up at the camera. 1 month later, the NFL filed a $1.5 million lawsuit against her, claiming it was a breach of contract and tarnished the organization's goodwill and reputation. Then in March of 2014, they added another $15 million to the claim. Speaking to Huck, the musician said that the lawsuit activated so many people to come after her on so many different levels. And in terms of racism and sexism, the situation showed the cracks in everyone that she knew. In the end, MIA threw the blame on her former manager, Jay-Z. She said, "I was at Rock Nation at the time and Jay-Z was managing me. The lawsuit was so ridiculous. It proposed that they would keep 100% of my earnings for the rest of my life if I ever earned more than $2 million. The craziest part of all of this was that apparently Jay-Z encouraged her to sign it. Thankfully, she was able to settle out of court, but the incident took a massive toll on her career. Number 2, Akon. In 2019, the rapper spoke out against fellow artists who were choosing to boycott the Super Bowl, after many of them passed on the show in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick. Akon let it be known that he thinks it's not the right move to skip out on playing the event. He said, "I think all of that's stupid. You're in this business for 2 reasons. One is to make an impact, and 2 is for the business of it." But defending the NFL didn't really help his case. Over the years, Akon has drawn way too much backlash for his onstage antics, and that makes him a highly unsuitable candidate for the halftime show. In 2007, he hurled a 15-year-old off stage, all because he got irritated with him. Shockingly, he decided to pick him up and throw him from the stage into the crowd. That same year, the rapper lost a $3 million deal with Verizon when he had simulated intercourse with a female dancer on stage at one of his concerts. Overall, it was a complete disaster. And coming in at number 1, Eminem. The rapper performed at last year's Super Bowl, and as his rendition of Lose Yourself ended, he took a knee and held his head in his hand in a way that was a tribute to Colin Kaepernick. The move sent social media into a frenzy, considering that it was done in direct opposition to the NFL. But the organization eventually released a statement saying that they had seen rehearsals and they were well aware that Eminem was planning to kneel. Either way, a lot of fans loved the move, even though it was extremely controversial. But while Eminem hasn't said anything about it, some people claim that it had nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick, but it was actually a nod to Tupac, because when he knelt, Dr. Dre sat down at the piano to play Tupac Shakur's I Ain't Mad at Ya, and that's why people made the connection.
Number 10, Coldplay. Now, for the record, I actually really like Coldplay. Maybe their new stuff not as much, but I think they're a pretty good band. Does that mean I think they should lead a Super Bowl halftime show? Not really, no. In 2016, Coldplay was billed as the Super Bowl halftime show performer, and honestly, good for them, I guess. But then, for some reason that no one can really seem to fathom, they performed alongside Bruno Mars and Beyonce. It's a very strange grouping. Personally, I love all 3 artists, but together, it feels odd. And guess what? It was! Watching Chris Martin beside Beyonce and Bruno looked like he was a third wheel on a really odd date, or like someone who just ran up on the stage. It was cringy, and they were all singing a Coldplay song. It should not have been this weird. Number 9. Malfunction. In 2004, Janet Jackson took to the Super Bowl stage with hits like Rhythm Nation. About halfway through the show, Justin Timberlake joined her to perform Rock Your Body and dance hella provocatively. They had a big, bold finish before Timberlake, out of literally nowhere, rips one of Jackson's bra cups off, showing off the singer's bare chest. It comes completely out of left field, and the look on both performers' face for the few seconds before the pyrotechnics go off and the lights go black is one of just confusion and shock. Supposedly, it was meant to be that Timberlake tore the rubber bustier off to reveal a red lace bra, which makes me wonder why that was the plan at all, but hey. After 540,000 complaints rolled in, apologies from Timberlake poured out, interviews with Oprah from Jackson happened pretty soon after, and worldwide news coverage talked of a falling out between the two performers. Number 8. Fergie. In 2011, Fergie and the Black Eyed Peas were leading the Super Bowl halftime show, which makes sense for that time in history. What didn't really make any sense was when the group brought out special guest Slash. Yes, Slash from Guns N' Roses. Going from their signature dance music to straight up classic rock was an interesting change of pace. Fergie belted out Sweet Child of Mine alongside the guitarist, giving it her best shot, but at best, the whole thing ended up sounding like a bad karaoke. Fans of the band almost universally revolted for blasphemy against their sacred anthem. It was not a good time. Now, some of you may recall how Fergie took to the NBA floor to sing the national anthem, and while it was good for the first bit, it just kinda went off the rails towards the end, and she hasn't really recovered from these two performances ever since. Number 7. MIA. So look, it's extremely safe to say that the viewers of the Super Bowl are composed primarily of conservative America and families. That kind of plays into every Super Bowl halftime show. You don't want to be problematic as an artist. But I guess no one told MIA. The singer, known for her songs like Paper Planes and Bad Girls, both of which are fantastic songs, appeared alongside Nicki Minaj and Madonna, who was the headliner for the show. Despite Madonna's really awkward dancing, a problem arose when MIA decided she was gonna flip the old bird right at the whole of America and everyone else who was watching. If you're a fan of the artist, you are probably not surprised one bit, but conservative America was not only surprised, but completely flabbergasted, and this one little move did not go well. Number 6. Unplugged. Almost no one plays live at the Super Bowl. Being such an absolutely massive performance, you just don't want to mess it up. But on top of that, the time delays and feedback would make it an absolute mess. That's why so much focus is put into the performance. It's put into the sheer illusion of a live show, and usually that is achieved. In 2014, Bruno Mars absolutely killed it on the halftime show stage, and I mean, he usually kills it in any performance, but then this guy pulled out the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was awesome. They did a rendition of Give It Away Now, and it was hype as hell. But then, if you actually pay close attention, not a single member of the band was actually plugged in. Sure, no one with any sense plays live at the show, but it would have been nice to make it at least believable with such an awesome performance. Number 5. Power Slide. Okay, this one was short and sweet. I honestly think it's more hilarious and kind of endearing than embarrassing, but it has an element of that as well. In 2009, Bruce Springsteen got the chance to take the halftime show stage, and boy did he make the most of it. In an absolutely hilarious moment, Brucey Boy performed an amazing power slide across the stage straight at a cameraman who was hanging out on the side of it. I guess he misjudged the power of his legs, and his powerful slide slid right across that stage, landing crotch first into the camera and onto the TV screens of viewers all around the world. His smiling face making sure that the cameraman was okay as he got to his feet is just pure joy, and it's honestly hilarious. I want that kind of energy all the time. Number 4. Jump. Okay, I got another short but sweet moment. In 2017, it was Lady Gaga's turn to run the halftime show, and she did an excellent job. But I have to say, her pre-recorded entrance to the show was just absolutely hilarious. She made her way to the Houston Stadium stage by seemingly jumping off of the roof. She obviously didn't actually do that, but the jump was the absolute most hilarious jump I have ever seen. It was just so awkward, and I've never seen someone jump like that in my entire life. She like spread eagle and just tossed herself. I was literally watching a GIF of this moment on repeat for like 5 minutes straight as I wrote at this point. So good. I highly suggest that you do the same thing. Number 3. Disney. In 1991, Disney produced the Super Bowl halftime show, and it was essentially just a big old handful of cringe and nightmare fuel. Why an army of children dressed up like footballers and cheerleaders doing a song and dance is this awkward, I'll never know. But you couple that with Minnie Mouse, Goofy, and Roger Rabbit mascots, and it's just not a good time. It was genuinely terrifying to behold. So much so that ABC didn't even air it live. They actually preferred coverage of the Persian Gulf War over the awkward, embarrassing, and utterly terrifying performance. Number 2. Left Shark Doo 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 Doo. In the 2015 halftime show, Katy Perry took to the stage, and her whole thing was just a fever dream of an extremely colorful vacation. It literally looked like someone took a tropical beach, and then a unicorn came along and vomited a rainbow onto it. It was wild, but definitely fun. What made it so much more fun was the 2 backup dancing sharks that Katy had behind her while singing Teenage Dream. Specifically, the world focused on the left shark, who seemed to just be having a rough time. He could not match the pace of the song at all. The right shark was doing great, but his fishy friend just stole the show to the point that people accused the right shark of being boring. In opposition, the left side of Katy Perry was plagued by a rogue shark that seemed to just be making up its own dance moves. A dancing shark is scary. A shark that doesn't know what the hell is going on is so much more fun, and it's all anyone could talk about for days after the fact. And in at number 1 is Prince. Why does Justin Timberlake have the absolute worst luck when it comes to the halftime show? Arguably, it seems to be his own fault. In 2018, Timberlake decided that he would use a video projection hologram of Prince as an homage to the late artist, a part of his show despite the fact that the guy had literally promised that he would not do that. Timberlake sang "I Would Die For You" along with the video that also used a part of Prince's music video for Purple Rain. Fans of Prince specifically were outraged as they said this disrespected the artist. In a 1998 Guitar World interview, Prince specifically spoke about his dislike of using technology that brought back musical legends for collaborations, as it was basically stealing that artist's likeness and music for another artist's selfish use. If you're gonna honor a guy, the best way you could do it is not by doing one of the main things he specifically does not like. Bad move. Guess what? You shouldn't have to guess because you literally decided to click on this video, but Rihanna is headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. The NFL have officially confirmed this in a tweet made on Sunday, September 25th, with the artist making an Instagram post to confirm it. It's gonna be such a good show. I'm Adam Andrews with InformOverload, and let's talk about what we might expect from this halftime show. The NFL and Rock Nation, the entertainment agency founded by Jay-Z in 2008, have been talking with Rihanna to headline the show for a little bit now. Obviously, with Rihanna being a Rock Nation artist, she would always be an option for Jay-Z, but it also means that she could potentially have some guest appearances with other Rock Nation artists as well, Jay-Z included. It's also important to note that Rihanna has been teasing some new music that's been in the works, teasing it for like over a year. Hopefully she releases some of those songs before the Super Bowl actually happens on February 12th, so she can gauge which songs actually slap or not, because the Super Bowl would be an amazing way to promote that album. But let's be honest though, she doesn't even need to play new music for her halftime show to be legendary. With sales of more than 250 million records worldwide, Rihanna ranks as one of the best-selling female artists ever. She has made a huge name for herself. She's collaborated with so many artists, and her addition to a song always elevates the music to a whole nother level. This upcoming Super Bowl will take place at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, and unlike previous Super Bowl halftime shows that were sponsored by Pepsi, this show is actually being sponsored by Apple Music. Will that have any effect on the way the show looks or anything? I don't know, but it's still worth noting. I've never actually seen Rihanna in concert in person, but I have seen videos of her performing, and she never ever misses. I don't know how else to say it. This is going to be so good. Another thing, not specifically about this show, but that is worth talking about is the fact that Rihanna actually declined an offer to do the halftime show for the 2019 Super Bowl. This was not too long after Colin Kaepernick, the former San Francisco 49ers quarterback, took the knee during the national anthem back in 2016, and there was massive controversy surrounding it. Many artists stood in solidarity with Kaepernick, and Rihanna was one of them. Talking to Vogue on the subject, she said, quote, "Who gains from that? Not my people. I just couldn't be a sellout. about. I couldn't be an enabler. There's things within that organization that I do not agree with at all, and I was not about to go and be of service to them in any way. And I really respect that, although I suppose things have changed since that time, since she has finally agreed to do the show. Maybe because of that we will get some kind of callback to that moment in time in the form of maybe taking a knee or something else. Or maybe it'll be completely glossed over. Who knows? Personally, I'd prefer no spoilers for how this show is going to go.
With the Super Bowl happening today, the organizers of the halftime show wanted to make sure that everything was kept a secret until the big reveal. This year, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar will be performing, but they had an interesting way to cover the sound. Now, attempting to keep their show a secret at all costs, the organizers have been blaring rock music outside of the stadium to cover up rehearsals. The group I mentioned earlier have been perfecting their 12-minute set, and so anyone within earshot is potentially someone that could leak what they're planning. From what we've learned, the stadium has been blasting music like Bon Jovi and the Red Hot Chili Peppers to cover up the actual music being practiced, which also must be extremely distracting for them as they try to prepare. I get the abundance of caution for not spoiling a good show, but man, I can't imagine trying to learn one song while another song is playing in the background. However, that's not the only downside. There's also a lot of neighbors around the stadium, and some people are apparently not pleased to be hearing "Livin' on a Prayer" at full volume while they're trying to tuck their kids into bed. A lot of the rehearsals have been going on late into the night, and that's starting to anger a lot of the neighbors. Although have no fear, because game day is here. Now, if they're doing all of this just to keep the set a secret, then you know that they haven't really been revealing anything else either. The only thing that we do know about this secret performance is that Mary J. Blige said that the whole set gave her goosebumps. The show is being presented by Pepsi, the NFL, and Rock Nation, with Jay-Z releasing a statement on what to expect. In the message he said, "On February 13th, 2022, at the Super Bowl in Inglewood, California, in the new SoFi Stadium, Dr. Dre, a musical visionary from Compton, Snoop Dogg, an icon from Long Beach, and Kendrick Lamar, a young musical pioneer in his own right, also from Compton, will take center field for a performance of a lifetime. They will be joined by the lyrical genius Eminem and the timeless queen Mary J. Blige. This is the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show. This is history in the making."
Seems not everyone was a fan of that star-studded halftime show. More specifically, local authorities have spoken out against Snoop Dogg's participation in the halftime show, claiming they'd be boycotting the Super Bowl. It seems the backlash is coming just weeks after Snoop was featured on a song where, well, he more or less called for violence against the police. I'm gonna tell you guys all about it right now on I.O. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. You got the spiciest host in the game, Jared Pepper Bronstein, with you here today. You know I'm repping the Eagles, my team here on Super Bowl Sunday. Even though they're not in the Super Bowl, that's okay. And you know you gotta make sure to smash that like button. Also make sure to subscribe as well to keep up to date with all things entertainment, and let's get right into it. All week people were anxiously awaiting what may go down as one of the best Super Bowl halftime performances of all time, depending who you ask, but it seems a few different police groups felt the performance would have been much better if Snoop hadn't been involved at all. Just a couple weeks prior to the Super Bowl, Snoop collaborated with fellow rapper JD5 on a song called Police, and as you can imagine, well, it wasn't a song talking about how much they love the cops. In fact, it was quite the opposite. Some of the lyrics included, which for obvious reasons, I'm gonna paraphrase, but feel free to look up the original version. They go along the lines of, and I quote, "All you people out there, take your guns that you're using to shoot each other and start shooting the police. That'll impress someone like me, because these police are getting way out of line." Although it appears Snoop didn't really promote the song much on his socials, if at all, it still caught the ears of a handful of police groups. Taking to Facebook to release an official statement, the Suffolk County PBA shared images of Snoop alongside some of his lyrics and a written letter which was sent to the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. The post was captioned, I quote, "Encouraging people police officers apparently earns you a spot as a headliner at the Super Bowl. If you choose to watch the game at all, halftime is a great moment to shut your TV off in honor of those men and women in blue who gave their lives for us." Snoop Dogg didn't speak on the situation, and it seems likely he won't given the amount of love, support, and positivity he received from fans all over the world praising his performance alongside a handful of hip-hop legends. Some news outlets also highlighted that leading up to the Super Bowl, all the performers were warned not to do anything politically motivated or censored. However, that didn't stop Eminem from taking a knee, which some thought may have been a tribute to Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick is a former quarterback in the NFL and a prominent supporter of the movement who made headlines for taking a knee during the singing of the national anthem back in 2016. Although the claims regarding M have yet to be confirmed, it seems the internet has a way of hearing a story and, well, running with it.
In preparation for the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show, the performers were told to not do or say anything controversial, resulting in the NFL trying to censor Eminem and Dr. Dre during their performances. Nonetheless, the two decided to go against the NFL's wishes in their show. So let's talk about this and more only in today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's me again. Welcome back to IO. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan. Let me know if you watched the Super Bowl or if you just tuned in for the halftime show like me. Either way, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now let's get on with the video. During the halftime show, after Eminem's performance of Lose Yourself, you might have noticed that he took a knee. He did this in a display of defiance against the NFL. He also did this in support of Colin Kaepernick. He did this during the singing of the national anthem in 2016. Now, Eminem had brought up the idea previously and the NFL literally told him not to do it. They banned him from doing so. But that didn't scare him because he decided to do so anyways. And he kneeled down for around a minute. He's not the only one who was censored though. Dr. Dre was told his lyrics in his song Still Dre were too controversial. It's due to the one line that goes as so, still F with the beats, still not loving the police. Apparently the NFL was not a fan of that line, so he got into a big disagreement with them over that. According to a source, and I quote, "In the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, Dre has gone back and forth with league officials about the lyrics and content of the songs that he could perform on stage. And it goes beyond curse words." Dre went on to say how he felt disgustingly censored. Also, Snoop Dogg's planned outfit was flagged as being gang related, but I mean, it still appeared to be.
Kanye West decided to take a break from yelling at Pete Davidson on his Instagram so that he could take his kids to the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. However, his fashion choices for that evening proved to be his downfall, and we're now getting reports that he had major regrets after choosing to hide his face. Kanye was sitting next to Donda Sports president Antonio Brown and his daughter Northwest when they suddenly appeared on the Jumbotron. According to reports, thousands of football fans in attendance booed Kanye when he was spotted wearing the black mask over his face, which became an important part of this story because now it made it very awkward for him when he decided that he wanted to take it off. Well, at least according to Judd Apatow, who was sitting behind Kanye at the game. He claimed that the rapper was struggling with the mask quite a bit. Judd says in his Instagram caption, "I'm sitting near Kanye, he seems very hot and sweaty in the mask. I overheard him say, 'Man, I wish I didn't go with the mask today, but now that I'm in it, I can't really bail on it. Do you think I could lose it at halftime? Seems like a logical place to make a change.' His friend said, 'No, you have to commit.' Then Kanye said, 'I wish we would have cut some more vents in this thing.' Then his pal said, 'I told you to go with the creepy contact lenses, but you didn't listen. You never listen.' Then adding in another post, 'I got too hot, I can't do it.' Now because Judd is a comedian, no one is really quite sure if he is telling the truth about this Kanye conversation. However, it does certainly sound like a very possible complaint given the temperatures in LA and that brutal mask that he was wearing. Either way, even if the conversation didn't happen, the internet was creating all of their own narratives around Kanye's mask. With NRG Seth pointing out the most obvious problem with this mask and said, "No way Kanye paid $50K for a Super Bowl ticket to watch it like this." Which is just so true. I can't imagine the amount of money he dropped to completely miss the entire first half of the game. Although this has more to do with Kanye wanting the world to see him out and being a good dad. I really don't think that Kanye cares that much about football or the Super Bowl for that matter. He just wanted his moment on the screen following the tirade of attacks that he put out against Pete Davidson. Many fans speculated that Kanye was only wearing the mask for attention, which pretty much would defeat the purpose of a mask meant to keep his face hidden. I really hope he at least took this moment with his daughter North to tell her about why he didn't want her on TikTok. It must be insane to have your dad ranting about you being on social media all over social media. I really don't think that Kanye understands the gravity of his reach when he goes on these social media rants. Also, you would think that with the Super Bowl happening, it would be enough to pull the attention away from Kanye just for a moment. But even with that, he still was trending on Twitter over the Super Bowl. He even acknowledged this on Instagram and said, "How great is it to be a free artist? I fought for my family, we had Sunday service, trended over the Super Bowl while at the Super Bowl with my kids. Odell gave me and my kids his gloves, Dre performed, Rams won, and I did a Super Bowl commercial with McDonald's. God has a plan, love over fear, today was awesome."
50 Cent is trending after his Super Bowl performance, and it's probably not for reasons he would want. First off, his performance was a surprise. It was rumored that he was going to be there, but no one knew for sure. But alas, he showed up on stage and the crowd went wild. But Twitter and Instagram users are too quick and started creating memes off of his performance. And they're wild and hilarious, so let's look at them and more only in today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to IO. I'm your your host, Lindsay Ivan. If you're excited for today's video, why don't you give it a big thumbs up? Also, comment something down below because I love reading your comments. And obviously, subscribe to our channel. Now, let's get on with the video. 50 Cent gave a head over heels performance for the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show. Quite literally, because he was hanging upside down for the first 30-ish seconds of it. Now, this was meant to be a nice throwback to the original music video for that song. In the music video, he is singing upside down, just like in his Super Bowl performance. But in this day and age, people are too quick and immediately turn him hanging upside down into a meme, mainly because his face was getting flushed and his veins were popping. So they took that image and made him into a meme. Let's take a look at them, shall we? The first being a classic and one of my favorites. 50 Cent waiting for his part in the halftime show, like, that's a classic meme. This guy is Michael McGee. His image went viral years ago. The meme I usually see him with is the trying to hold a fart next to a cute girl in class, but it works perfectly with 50 Cent as well. Next, we have this massive purple fish from SpongeBob. Like, these memes literally have me dying. Who comes up with them? In fact, there was a fair bit of SpongeBob memes like this one. It's true, like, how long was he hanging upside down before it was his cue? I mean, he probably was strapped to the ceiling and then flipped upside down, so he wasn't hanging that long, but still, he was up there for quite some time. Even this one is gold. Patrick with his jellyfish catching net. Like, I can't. These people are far too creative. Here's another one that was my favorite. Nobody. 50 Cent. Patrick hanging upside down over SpongeBob. Like, seriously, he must have been dangling there for quite some time. Maybe even from the start of the performance. Can you just imagine him being strapped to the ceiling over the backup dancers, like waiting for his time to shine? He's definitely gonna wake up sore tomorrow, I'll tell you that. Here's one that will make you spit out your drink. 50 Cent is now a full $1, or 50 Cent looking like 78 cents due to inflation. I'm telling you, people are ruthless out there. Like I said, he just wanted to shock people with his performance. Have them be like, oh, throwback, I remember his original music video. Instead, they kind of made him into a laughing stock. This is why I love, but I also hate the internet. Like, at any moment, you can become a meme. Been there, it's happened to me. Anyways, let's take a look at some few other honorable mentions. Like this tweet, telling my kids this is Spider-Man and Mary J. Where's the lie though? Seriously, where's the lie? Also, this one literally had me cackling. You have to see it. It's so funny. Just Big Bird knocking down the damn door. Too good. Literally the amount of memes already out there, and it hasn't even been a full hour. It's ridiculous how fast these people are. He's not the only one getting memed alive right now though. Mary J. Blige is also getting memed after her performance. Towards the end of her performance, she flopped down dramatically on stage, and people immediately turned that into a meme, saying things like, she looked like the toys from the Toy Story movie when Andy or any human comes in. They're also attacking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because he did an opening speech at the Super Bowl and he did his iconic eyebrow raising thing, which I can't do. Well, maybe. Anyway, now The Rock is a meme, so like I said, no one is safe these days. As you all know by now, 50 Cent made a surprise appearance during the Super Bowl halftime show on Sunday. Quickly, he was turned into a meme. So, let's check out some of these memes only in today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to IO. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan. If you haven't seen part 1 to this video, go check it out. We did lots of videos on 50 Cent. Now, let's get on with the video. So, during his performance, 50 Cent was hanging upside down. Spider in the corner of my shower looking down at me. Like, it's true though, when I get into the shower and there's a spider up there, I'm like, can you not? Like, are you gonna let me shower in peace? I'm telling you, people are too witty. Like, look at it. Oh my god. Like, he was just trying to throw homage or homage, I think that's how you actually pronounce it, whatever, to his original Into Club music video, and people were like, nah, this is hilarious. And then he's now a meme. Homer said, once again, sorry, I didn't even see that. The Simpsons predicted the halftime show. Bro, maybe they did. Look at Homer upside down. I can't. I literally can't. Like, it's the fact that people are finding these images so perfectly. Like, I've never seen this photo of Homer before. How did this person find it? 50 Cent after he finished his song. Bro, if you guys haven't seen the SpongeBob movie, it's a classic when he comes down in that. Goofy Goober! It's true though, like, genuinely, when he's upside down, obviously he was in a harness. I guess as he's going right side up and to get on the stage, they pan to a backup dancer, but that took like 5 seconds. So he was literally upside down and got right side up in like 5 seconds. Like I literally want to see the behind the scenes of him getting strapped up, him hanging upside down, and then him going right side up. Like I genuinely want to see that. I hope somebody has behind the scene footage. Guys, it was a throwback. That was so nostalgic. That was so nostalgic. Like I loved every song. Mary J. Blige. Oh, I was living for it. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Oh my gosh, no one. 50 Cent. It's a freaking bat hanging upside down. Like stop, guys, stop. This is too much. You gotta give this guy a break. You know, he thought his performance was so good. He was probably really proud of himself, being like, oh, I'm throwing tribute to an old song. And now he's a bat and a meme. When my phone drops underneath the bed. That's probably what the phone sees. You know, you're reaching under, you're like, hopefully there's no monsters, you're hanging upside down trying to grab your phone. That one's hella accurate. That was hella accurate. No way Kanye paid $50K for a Super Bowl ticket to watch it like this. That's what I'm talking about. So we covered this story too, where he went to the Super Bowl and he wore this mask like, I think halfway. And then apparently, according to Judd Apatow, who was sitting by Kanye, Kanye got too hot and was just like, when can I take this off? I really wish that I didn't wear it. I can't see him having a good view. It's fitting that 50 Cent performs after 2 quarters. Oh my god, it's true though. Stop. People are too clever. That's like scarily clever. There was a whole bunch of other ones being like, due to inflation, 50 Cent is now like blah blah blah, because he was upside down and the blood was rushing to his head, so it like looked like it was swelling.
As photos of Johnson speaking into the mic started to circulate Twitter, some users pointed out that his fly may have been down, showing his pebbles. Now I won't lie, at first I didn't even notice because I was too focused on the fact that at any minute, this man was about to rip his shirt in half. Although the wardrobe choice in itself was a little questionable, wearing a matching maroon or burgundy type shirt and pants combo, it seems whatever was happening down there has caught a lot of people's attention. Now I'll be honest with you guys, I can't say for sure what's going on down there. Was it that his fly was down, or that was just an extra long zipper? I really don't know. It's really hard to tell, but one thing's for sure, the internet is enjoying themselves having a laugh at Johnson's expense. And boy, I can't wait till I do a film with him and then he sees this video and then threatens to kill me. That being said, it appears there are more people praising Dwayne's presence prior to the game as he fired up fans and introduced the 2 conference champions in the LA Rams and Cincinnati Bengals moments before kickoff. Prior to the game, Johnson also shared some thoughts on Instagram with a photo including a caption mentioning how grateful he was for the opportunity. The caption included, I quote, "Life has come full circle as I will stand on the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl and galvanize, bring together, and electrify 80,000 plus passionate football fans who love the game like I do. Funny how life works sometimes. My football dreams failed, but many years later, they kinda came true in a much bigger and more influential way. Grateful."
Kanye West recently posted a series of images on his Instagram calling out Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian. One of the posts features a photo of Pete Davidson and Machine Gun Kelly in their underwear fooling around. He captioned the photo, "No, you will never meet my children." On the second slide, it's a picture of his text conversation with Pete Davidson. Now that photo is cut off, so we can't really make out the full text, but it seems like Pete is saying he will never get in the way of his kids and Kim, and how they go about raising their kids is none of his business. He ends the message saying that he hopes they can all be friends one day. So Pete is trying to be civil, and clearly Kanye is not. That same day he posted a picture of Pete Davidson and called him a dickhead. In the caption he said, and I quote, "Look at this head. I wonder if Instagram gonna shut down my page for dissing Hillary Clinton's ex-boyfriend." For reference, he previously posted a photo of Pete Davidson's tattoo of Hillary Clinton, hence why he referred to him as Hillary's boyfriend. That's not all, folks. Kanye is not holding back. He also posted an edited photo of him as Venom facing off with Pete Davidson. The title, "West vs. Davidson Fight Night," was edited onto the photo. He also posted another photo calling out Pete when he was in a relationship with Ariana Grande. The photo says that Pete sent intimate photos he had with Ariana to Mac Miller as a way to prevent Mac from getting back with her. When Ariana discovered this, she ended the relationship. So Kanye posted that and captioned it, "No comment." So you get it. Kanye really hates this guy's gut and he's trying to just expose him. With everything that he posted, it's no shock that he's trending. People are wondering, what's up with all the posts? In fact, he had to make a post proving that he wasn't hacked because at this rate, people thought that he was. Even though Kanye was trending for all the wrong reasons, he didn't let that ruin his day. In fact, he was seen at the Super Bowl with North and Saint. But if you saw him, you might not have recognized him. That's because he was wearing a full black mask covering his entire face. He was previously spotted wearing this mask on his Instagram post when he said he wasn't hacked. Is this going to be a new look for Kanye? Maybe he'll wear this whenever he's in public. Who knows? I will say though, it seems like Kanye regrets his wardrobe choice. Judd Apatow was sitting near Kanye at the game and posted on Instagram a photo of Kanye wearing that mask and captioned it, and I quote, "I'm sitting near Kanye. He seems very hot and sweaty in the mask. I overheard him say, 'Man, I wish I didn't go with the mask today, but now that I'm in, I can't really bail on it. Do you think I could lose it at halftime? Seems like a logical place to make a change.' His friend said, 'No, you have to commit.' Then Kanye said, 'I wish we would have cut some more vents in this thing.' Then his pal said, 'I told you to go with the creepy contact lenses, but you didn't listen. You never listen, go Rams.' Now, Judd is a comedian, so maybe this whole thing was a joke, or maybe Kanye really did have that conversation with his friend. In an update post, Judd revealed that Kanye eventually did take off the mask.
Alright, so Drake has apparently been getting into the crypto space, at least in the sense that he's got some Bitcoin, which he wagered on tonight's Super Bowl matchup between the Rams and Bengals. More specifically, Drake decided to put a ton of faith in his good friend and star wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr., to have a big night, and it seems his bets are already paying off. Taking to his Instagram account, Drake posted a screenshot of 3 different bets he placed for a grand total of just under $1.3 million. Those bets included a moneyline wager for the Rams to win the game, as well as 2 prop bets specifically pertaining to OBJ's performance. One of the bets is for Beckham to get at least 1 touchdown, while the other is for him to have a total of over 62.5 yards in the game. Drake placed 600,000 Canadian for the Rams to win, while placing another $500,000 on the other 2 bets each. In total, he could win $2.26 million, profiting over $1 million total. At the time of this recording, Odell already got a touchdown and has 52 yards in the game with 2 receptions. If this is a sign of things to come, it seems Drake could have himself a night. Getting back to Drake's Instagram post, it seems he reinforced his close relationship with the Rams wideout, not only sharing a photo of a pair of gloves Beckham gifted him, but also captioning his post, "All bets are in on the family." Speaking to the media prior to the big game, Beckham said, I quote, "I've got to come through for him, but ultimately, bro, I just want to be able to hold that trophy up, look your brothers in the eyes like, man, we did it, and just feel that joy. Honestly, I feel like if I play my game, I catch everything that comes my way, I make the plays, I stay locked in, one play at a time, all of those things are very possible." And it seems things currently are heading in that direction, with the Rams leading the game 13-10 with just over 5 minutes left in the first half.
He started off playing the song In the Club and was upside down on the stage. Now the stage looked like a house with open rooms, and in each room you could see the artists alongside their backup dancers. In fact, being upside down was throwing homage to his In the Club music video from 2009. In that video, there's a scene where we see 50 Cent upside down while singing. For those of you that are knowledgeable about his songs and music videos, that was like a nice Easter egg to see. As he's singing, you had a number of dancers surround him while in flashy outfits, kind of like a party scene. As he was upside down for a brief period of time, you see the dancers around him right side up. And obviously, being upside down, the color was rushing to his face. And you knew that he was upside down because his chain was dangling in his face. But it was amazing that his vocals were the same. Like, that's talent, to be able to sing the same standing up as you would being upside down. Quickly though, he was right side out, but you know how it is when you go from being upside down to right side up, the blood was rushing to his face. That would make anyone dizzy. Plus, he had to continue singing and showing off his moves. For his performance, he was wearing a white tank top with black pants and a white headband, which is important because if you know his In the Club song, he wore that same white headband in the video. I personally just love Easter eggs. You know, if you know his history and his songs, then you would have picked up on this too. Let me know in the comments below if you did. After his performance, Mary J came on stage to sing Family Affair.
So we've all been there, at the McDonald's drive-thru or front counter, absolutely blitzed out of our mind, ask that daunting question, what can I get for you? And that's exactly what McDonald's decided to capitalize on. The corporation decided to poke fun at the average consumer who is always overwhelmed with their range of options by making a commercial featuring a bunch of actors and some more notable faces such as West and NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace. And it also featured Ryan Reynolds, who voices Grimace, the purple McDonald's character, which that in itself blew my mind. But we're not here to talk about everyone's second favorite Canadian actor, obviously me being your favorite. No, instead we're here to talk about Yeezy. And to say that Kanye West's cameo in the commercial was short-lived, well, that would just about sum it up. For whatever reason, West was seen pulling up into the McDonald's drive-thru in a tractor, repeating the lines as majority of the other actors, with a good old Prior to the commercial airing, it seems some eagle-eyed fans of West shout out the Eagles, were certain he'd be featured in the commercial when the McDonald's Instagram page posted a photo of the corner of the tractor's tire. In response to the photo tweeted by McDonald's as well, a user replied, "Is that Kanye's truck?" Back in 2020, Kanye used the Russian Sherp ATV to give away pairs of his Yeezy QNTMs, and he also gifted the same vehicle to his longtime friend 2 Chainz. Back in 2018, West did tweet that McDonald's is his favorite restaurant. Maybe they decided to show their support for the rapper the way he's shown his support for them, especially as he goes through what appears to be yet another tough time. If you take one look at Kanye's latest Instagram posts, well, it's clear he doesn't really care what anyone thinks.
Kanye West decided to take a break from yelling at Pete Davidson on his Instagram so that he could take his kids to the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. However, his fashion choices for that evening proved to be his downfall, and we're now getting reports that he had major regrets after choosing to hide his face. Kanye was sitting next to Donda Sports president Antonio Brown and his daughter Northwest when they suddenly appeared on the Jumbotron. According to reports, thousands of football fans in attendance booed Kanye when he was spotted wearing the black mask over his face, which became an important part of this story because now it made it very awkward for him when he decided that he wanted to take it off. Well, at least according to Judd Apatow, who was sitting behind Kanye at the game. He claimed that the rapper was struggling with the mask quite a bit. Judd says in his Instagram caption, "I'm sitting near Kanye, he seems very hot and sweaty in the mask. I overheard him say, 'Man, I wish I didn't go with the mask today, but now that I'm in it, I can't really bail on it. Do you think I could lose it at halftime? Seems like a logical place to make a change.' His friend said, 'No, you have to commit.' Then Kanye said, 'I wish we would have cut some more vents in this thing.' Then his pal said, 'I told you to go with the creepy contact lenses, but you didn't listen. You never listen.' Then adding in another post, 'I got too hot, I can't do it.' Now because Judd is a comedian, no one is really quite sure if he is telling the truth about this Kanye conversation. However, it does certainly sound like a very possible complaint given the temperatures in LA and that brutal mask that he was wearing. Either way, even if the conversation didn't happen, the internet was creating all of their own narratives around Kanye's mask. With NRG Seth pointing out the most obvious problem with this mask and said, "No way Kanye paid $50K for a Super Bowl ticket to watch it like this." Which is just so true. I can't imagine the amount of money he dropped to completely miss the entire first half of the game. Although this has more to do with Kanye wanting the world to see him out and being a good dad. I really don't think that Kanye cares that much about football or the Super Bowl for that matter. He just wanted his moment on the screen following the tirade of attacks that he put out against Pete Davidson. Many fans speculated that Kanye was only wearing the mask for attention, which pretty much would defeat the purpose of a mask meant to keep his face hidden. I really hope he at least took this moment with his daughter North to tell her about why he didn't want her on TikTok. It must be insane to have your dad ranting about you being on social media all over social media. I really don't think that Kanye understands the gravity of his reach when he goes on these social media rants. Also, you would think that with the Super Bowl happening, it would be enough to pull the attention away from Kanye just for a moment. But even with that, he still was trending on Twitter over the Super Bowl. He even acknowledged this on Instagram and said, "How great is it to be a free artist? I fought for my family, we had Sunday service, trended over the Super Bowl while at the Super Bowl with my kids. Odell gave me and my kids his gloves, Dre performed, Rams won, and I did a Super Bowl commercial with McDonald's. God has a plan, love over fear, today was awesome."